Hello, it's me, it's that Dio double D or something like that. Anyway, I'm doing one of these, and I don't know, my energy level isn't like really that super high at the moment, but bear with me. But yeah, so basically I'm doing one of these things. A few things have been going on, but I don't really feel like going into them that much. Um, what I would recommend, though, is that we have pretty much every one of the Nemesis Imperium songs are now available for you to listen to on YouTube, so, go and check them out. And most of them are also available for free download. Only one of them I haven't been able to, I don't know, I have to find like something like Mega Download, Mega Upload, or whatever the hell that was called, where I can put it, because it's a big file. It's like a 10-minute song, So it came out to like 11 meg or something like that. And Reverb Nation charges you if you go over 8 meg. So, I guess I could reduce the quality, but then you get a really, really shitty MP3. Jesus, my face is breaking out right now. It's what stress will do to you. Anyway, so yeah, but you can check out, you can check out all 9 songs to see the fruits of mine and Cable's and Camilla's labor. John and Steve, did things too. So anyway, as I said, I'm doing one of these. I was actually just thinking the other day about how, by the way, it's October already. It's like late October already. So it's starting to get cold out and like it's like jacket weather. So, it's kind of neat to have that. Because I like it personally. This is my favorite time of the year where it doesn't get too cold, but it's still, like the 50s and, like 40s and everything, where like everything's like nice and you're not sweating like a pig every day, so at least that's what, weather-wise, that's what I prefer. But anyway, as I was saying, I was just thinking about how, before I actually best way to describe this is this. When I was a little kid, I had a dream before I wanted to be a musician. I didn't want to be a musician until I was about 11 years old, and my cousin's husband took me to see Ozzy, and I didn't go for the music because I'd never heard any of Ozzy's music. All I heard was, oh my God, there's this fucked up guy, and he's like fucking asking an entire audience to spit in a bucket, and then he drinks it, and and I was like, oh, holy shit, I have to see that. So I managed to get my cousin's husband to take me to Nassau Coliseum, and the opening band was Metallica, and that was back when Cliff Burton was alive, and it pretty much changed my whole life. It was like, oh my God, that's what I want to do. And then that Christmas, I asked my dad for a guitar when he asked me what I wanted. So, that's how the road into fame and fortune and abject poverty and bad facial hair came from. But before that, I don't know if I've even said this before, but my dream before that was I wanted to be a manager in professional wrestling. I wanted to be like one of the little skinny guys on this side of the ring, whose job is to get the audience to hate them, because anyone who's known me knows that I'm, have a more heel persona. It was funny because this reminded me, I was watching the CM Punk documentary, and he was talking about how what made him want to be in wrestling was watching Rowdy Roddy Piper beat Jimmy Snuka with a coconut. And he was like, oh my God, that was, it's like, I'm, they all hate this guy, and he dresses, different than everybody else, and that's me. I'm Rowdy Roddy Piper, is what he said. And it's funny because that was a huge, I remember watching that and just being like, wow, like that's awesome that you can just be a total dick, and not, I'm sure there's like an audience of fucking 15,000 people hating you for it, but you're getting paid, And so, but the thing is, I knew that I was always a skinny fucking kid. The heaviest I've ever been in my life was 135 pounds. And that was when I was working out like a motherfucker. So that was like, I gained like 10 pounds of muscle in high school at one point. There was this girl I liked said that I was too skinny. And so I started working out like 3 hours a day. Jesus Christ. It's amazing what high school boys will do to try to get laid. But anyway, I knew I would never be a wrestler because, those guys were like fucking have 100 pounds on me, and I wasn't going to take steroids because, those make your dick get tiny. And one thing I've been blessed with is dick. But there were these guys like Bobby Heenan and Jimmy Hart and Mr. Fuji who, they were guys who obviously, would get their asses kicked if, they went up against anybody, but they were like the brains behind the brawn most of the time. They were like the planners and schemers, and they'd have stables of wrestlers, and their jobs would be to like fuck up Hulk Hogan and people like that. And you know what? I always hated fucking Hulk Hogan. Really, I remember when I was 11 years old, another time in Nassau Coliseum, seeing Hulk Hogan versus Paul Orndorff. And after Hogan won, and he did his stupid fucking pose down bullshit with Real American playing in the background, I remember I turned to my friend Scott at the time, and I was just like, fuck this shit. Well, I don't think I said it exactly that. I was 11, but, just the general gist of it. It was kind of like, fuck this shit. I'm not letting him get away with this. And I remember I had the giant fucking, 64-ounce drink that I was going down to ringside to throw on him while he was posing. And I remember security stopped me. But, that's the kind of thing I wanted to do, is I wanted to just rain on the fucking good guys parade and just, have a whole audience of idiots boo me. And I remember, so that was like my dream as a kid, and then I kind of put that aside when, when I started becoming a musician, And then, God, I don't remember what year it was, maybe 97, 96, something like that, but I remember I saw something called ECW, Extreme Championship Wrestling, and it was fucking nuts. It was like guys ramming cheese graters across each other's faces and bringing shopping carts full of weapons down to the ring, and it looked like they were fucking trying to kill each other, and it was nuts. And somehow in my head I was like, I want to be part of that, And I remember, because I remember this is during the formative, actually it had to be like 96, 97, because I remember Dana and I spoke about this. Dana was the girl who formed Dark Eden with me. And, I wanted to go in there and I wanted to be a manager, because it was just like, I want to be part of this. This is violent, this is insane, and really fucking awesome. So, I remember around the time ECW folded, I had actually been talking to a few schools, and also even the ECW House of Hardcore, so that I could figure out how to take bumps, because, obviously I can't wrestle, but, when you're the manager guy, the whole big payoff for any angle is that, the good guy, or, back then they weren't really good guys, but they were, still fan favorites. And then there were still people that they, would chant, asshole towards. And, that was my goal, to be the person they chanted asshole towards. But, still the big payoff of the angle is that, the skinny guy gets fucking slammed through a fucking table or some shit, So, that's what I wanted. And, so I would have had to learn how to take bumps and all that sort of stuff. And I've also I've always really had a high threshold for pain. So, in fact, I remember when I had an impacted tooth and it hurt like a motherfucker. And I waited a week before it hurt too much. And that week was the point where I remember being fully dressed on my friend's bed. And it was like I had pissed all over it because the bed was that wet from how much I was sweating from pain. I mean, I used an entire bottle of Ambisol in one night. Before my tongue was white from all the white blood cells on it. they were like, oh, they at the emergency room, they were like, holy shit, you need like an emergency surgery like right now, which I never got. Thank you, Mom. But so yeah, so that was what I wanted to do. And I remember around the time they folded, that's what I had been doing, and looking into schools and stuff. And I figured I would do both. I would do Dark Eden, and I would be a manager. Then ECW folded, and I lost interest because ECW was the only thing I ever really saw myself as being a part of. I didn't see myself fucking working for Vince McMahon or Ted Turner or any of those fucking people. It was, and ECW was in Philly and New York, so it was close. But yeah, I remember, oh my God, when I was applying for the schools, I was like practicing just different shit to piss an entire audience off. I was just different things about sports teams and different things I wanted to call audiences. I remember coining the term Oklahomos and being really proud of myself in case I was ever in Oklahoma and I could use that term and just really, really... Oh. Sorry about that. There was a song I didn't want to play on there from Nirvana because I can't really... I'm not a huge fan. I have a couple songs on there because every now and then it's alright to listen to a Nirvana song, but overall, I'm not like... overall, it can really annoy the shit out of me. So, I went to turn it off and I accidentally pressed the button on my DualShock that turns off the video. So, oops, butterfingers. But yeah, so I remember, Oklahomos, and I remember, working on just all sorts of offensive shit for everywhere. Just because, as I said, that's the whole point. I've always loved riling people up. I've always loved pissing people off. And that would have been just the most awesome job ever. Hell, even New York. I remember I had different things to say depending on whether I was in Manhattan or Long Island, because, I grew up in Long Island, but, in Manhattan it would have been more of like, people should be honored that I chose to live here, as opposed to staying in Long Island, and in Long Island it would be more of, I had this whole idea of a shout out type thing where I was, coming out there as though I was a fan favorite and, saying, so let me hear from, Williston Park and Garden City and New Hyde Park and Mineola and, all these places in Long Island and, Hempstead and blah, blah, blah. And, because people for some reason are all like, ooh, he's saying our town's name, let's cheer. So, that was something that I thought would have been kind of funny to do. So, I'd mention all these places, and I'd mention that, I was raised in New Hyde Park. And then kind of point out about how, so my question is, what the hell is wrong with all of you that you still live here? And then go on and on about that. And, just, I don't know, just the whole ability. Because, a lot of guys, they're good in the ring, but they can't really speak, so that's why you get someone to do the talking for them, and that's how they get their heat, and that's what I wanted to be, and that would have been just awesome. And I know people now, some people recommend I go to like an indie thing or something and try to see about that, and I don't know, and I'm not really sure if it's the same, if it's like, 20 people in like a gym, I mean, I guess that's an audience, but still, I don't know. Well, what could have been, what could have been. So, anyway, yeah, I just felt like I'd share a little piece of Charles Akana for you, and let y'all know what, was something. When people like talk about being a musician, having an alternate career in mind, that was, just to show how my mind works. When people are like alternate career, they're normally like, yeah, you should learn how to be a mechanic or, learn how to, I don't know, do construction or something. And my alternate career was, I'm going to be a field manager. So, yeah. Anyway, as I said, check out the songs from Nemesis Imperium. Spelled with an I, by the way. I know a lot of people spell it with an N-E, but it's an I. So yeah, check that shit out, yo. And I will speak to you all later. Bye.